Government at all levels have been admonished to give a percentage of their budgets to take care of the vulnerables, especially the widows and their wards, so that they will live a meaningful life after the demise of their husbands. A legal practitioner, Femi Giwa-Amu, made the call on Saturday during the Serendipity House of Widows Foundation, God's Wives International Ministry 2022 Love Feast with Widows. Also advised the widow folks to utilize their God-given talents to rebuild themselves and usher in a new way of life. Giwa-Amu explained that in every society, widows and their children are open to all sorts of neglect and torture after the death of their beloved husband, and it's pertinent for the government to create ways by which their integration back to the society will be smoother and better. On her part, the convener, Serendipity House of Widows Foundation, Olori Ayo Jayola, admonished women across board to be self-independent even before the death of their husbands, as this will help them to be on a better socio-economic pedestal when the husband dies. Olori Jayola, who stated that the foundation has acquired a piece of land where it intends to develop as a permanent site where widows will be catered for, called on philanthropists to come to their aid in achieving the goal. While speaking on the theme, Widows and Business Opportunities, Ambassador Unyime Ivy King urged widows to always protect their life. She stated that God's plan was not to come to this life to marry, born children, and die, but there's always a purpose for living. Other speakers enjoined Nigerian leaders to empower and promote the social and economic inclusion of widows who are more vulnerable to society vices.
We look at the carnal system for support. That is, we look at man. And man can only think carnally. He will only think with his mind. But when we look at God, in other words, change our support system from man to the spiritual level, then we find our support. He says he's the husband of all wives. And I do believe that once a change is made, in other words, follow all that, align yourself with the spiritual, their solution is found. They are no longer stigmatized. They now realize that they are God's wives. He says he's the husband of all widows, and he takes care of, he will never let his own down. And that's what the Lord is saying.
Give them all the assistance that they require. Frankly speaking, a lot of the times they are taken advantage of, and the reason they are taken advantage of is because people see their vulnerability. They have needs that are real. So we need to take more time into looking at those needs and find ways to fill them up and to meet them so that they can be integrated into the society and live a full life. Because whatever happened to them was not as a result of their own fault. So we need to integrate them into society and help them as much as we can.
From last year to the next 5 years, we are talking about building a widow's shelter. We want our people in this country and abroad who are able to afford it financially to put a structure in the widow's camp and put their names on it, that they are the ones who build the hostel, they are the ones who build the restaurant, the clinic, the chapel. Let them come and build it. The land is there, we have bought it. Let them be the miracle for the widow's shelter.
The greatest thing, the greatest tragedy of life is not death. The greatest tragedy of life is you still being alive and not discovering your purpose, not discovering why your presence on earth is necessary. So it's very important that you start from there. Why are you here? Ask yourself that question. Ask God that question, because it is the manufacturer of a thing that knows the reason why he created that thing.
Up next on the Primetime News are stories from the foreign scene after this break.